sports, where the 16th Olympic Winter Games begin in exactly 1 year.
Tonight, a TNT doubleheader. Game 1 from Richfield Coliseum features the Cleveland Cavaliers and one of the up-and-coming centers of the league, Brad Daugherty. But the New York Knicks come to town with possibly the best in the game, Patrick Ewing. In Game 2, we head out to L.A. for one of the premier traditional matchups. Magic Johnson heads up the streaking Lakers as they host Larry Bird and the Eastern Conference leading Boston Celtics. This game will showcase the 33rd meeting of Bird and the Magic Man. Tonight, a battle of all-star centers. The youthful Brad Daugherty of the Cavaliers faces off with Patrick Ewing of the Knicks. Overcoming the loss of point guard Mark Price has been most difficult for the Cavs, as both veteran Larry Nance and Daugherty have been forced to pick up the pace to fill the offensive void. But Cleveland will have their hands full, as their mission is to contain the Knicks' center of attention. Knicks-Cavs next.
Along with Jack Gibbons, this is Bob Neal from the Richfield Coliseum outside of Cleveland, where tonight the New York Knicks have plowed their way in through the snowy, blowy conditions to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. My sidekick Jack here was diverted even because of the weather here. Had to get here, I guess, by a dog sled.
Yes, it almost was that way, but it's nice to be inside. The weather is so bad out here. It's just nice to be in the building.
Well, the Knicks played last night in Madison Square Garden, losing to the Chicago Bulls, and the Bulls, and we talk about the matchup between Daugherty and Ewing, and it is one of the matchups between two of the premier centers, and the Cavs are hoping to take advantage of that early, I understand.
Well, I think so. They'll go to Brad Daugherty, not only because he's their go-to guy, but because I think they would like to try to get Patrick Ewing in foul trouble. Of course, the Knicks have trouble when they go to the bench, so to have Patrick out of there would definitely help the Cavs here tonight.
And one of the toughest things in the NBA is to play on the road. That's the second toughest thing. The first toughest is to play on the road after you've had a game the night before in another city. That's the Knicks. The Knicks starting 5 good basketball players. They've been playing pretty well, but they need bench help, and that's been a definite deficit.
Well, as you mentioned, that's even magnified when you play back-to-back games. And, of course, the Knicks only got 18 points off their bench last night, and you're not going to win many games if you don't get better production than that. I think the Knicks will go to their bench, not only because they need some production, but because of the fact they played last night. Hopefully they can get some numbers from there.
A couple of the other marquee matchups. Larry Nance for Cleveland, somebody to watch early.
Well, I think that's going to be a real nice matchup with Oakley and Nance. Nance having a tremendous season so far. He's the #1 shot blocker for forwards in the NBA this year, but he's a good all-around player, runs the floor extremely well.
And other than Ewing for the New York Knicks, who are we going to look at from a Cleveland point of view of Cleveland having to stop?
Well, I think you have to look right to Wilkins. He's the guy that can take the ball to the basket. He's a penetrator. When he is penetrating, he's creating shots for Ewing and for Oakley down low. So Elo must do a good job on Wilkins.
Well, we have two teams here on the bubble of the Eastern Conference playoffs as they begin the second half of the season. They got to get it going. Two of the disappointing teams in the NBA thus far. Which one will emerge and make the playoffs? Well, we'll start finding that story out here tonight. We'll be back to the Richfield Coliseum in just a moment, but after these commercial messages, we'll be going back to our studios in Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.